A very good morning and a warm welcome to one and all present over here, teachers. Thank you so much for joining on another Super Sunday workshop. And this time we are getting into the details of art integrated learning. We have done this last year when the circular got released, and there was a lot of buzz around the term called as art integration in the regular teaching learning process. And today we are going to revisit that a little bit and talk about the latest updates on art integration, especially the one where they spoke about Kala Utsav. And in Kala Utsav, the theme for this is this time it's Viksit Bharat, Bharat in 2047. So that's going to be a major update in today's session. And we'll talk about how a teacher in the upcoming vacation can give some homeworks related to art integration. So that's going to be the major theme of today's session, teachers. Thank you so much for joining. We had a wonderful Shears Gems event in T-Hub yesterday in Hyderabad over here. And this will happen again in Kanpur, and I think we're doing it in Kolkata and Delhi. In case if everybody or anybody would like to register, our team members are going to put the registration form right away on the Google, not on the Google, on the Zoom chat. You can click on the link and register yourself in these locations. We'll also announce an online workshop. As of now, the date is 18th and 19th October, but still, I would like to confirm that with respect to CSGEMs, and that's exclusively for computer science education. We have done a session on effective homework practices where we spoke about different ideologies or different philosophies plus various educationists or educators out there with which we understood how homeworks could be actually assigned. Or in fact, there was also a small debate sort of a thing where we discussed if homeworks are really necessary. But the moment we talk about homework and its scientific reasoning behind it, it was not really about what homework we give, it was about how we actually give. And in that particular discussion, one method of giving an effective homework could be a homework that is related to art integration. And India being the country known for its various cultural riches and heritages, we do not have to search or research a lot on how to assign an art integrated homework, right from the form of a dance or form of the depiction of an art, which we call as visual arts, or the literary arts for that matter. Our country, India, is quite rich in all its forms. And with respect to today's session, we're going to touch upon all these three things in one way or the other and talk about various art forms that are quite famous in that particular region. While we talk about, I hope my audio is clear, teachers. Some of you have been, I'm so sorry. It's audible. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. That's great. Maybe it's not as clear as it generally used to be. Maybe because I'm not wearing the headphones. Clearly audible. Can you increase your volume? Okay, let's try. Let's try. I'm just going with the maximum volume right now, teachers, and please don't mistake me. If you're not able to hear me, please check out your audio as well. Yeah, it's set over here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Here we go. So with respect to art integration, we don't have to search for it, right? So today we're going to talk about all the efforts that are taken by the Ministry of Education in order to encourage this cultural diversity and show unity with that. For example, one such nice initiative was the CBC circular mentioning pairing of states. Two states have to pair together and contribute to an activity, some sort of a project where they talk about art integration. Probably, I think Tamil Nadu was paired with West Bengal, and Kashmir was paired, Jammu and Kashmir was paired with Andhra or something like that. I'm not sure about it. I have it written on the slides, and I would like to show that. So these activities actually encouraged or showed a lot of subconscious seeding in the students' mind that we are different. There are a lot of difference in the people who are there in various parts of our country, yet we are all called as Indians. And that activity was quite successful. Oh, Gujarat was with Jammu and Kashmir. That's right. Karnataka with Ladakh. Right. Let's quickly Telangana with Haryana. Right. Okay. So you would have done some activities related to that. Let's see how well we can do this. Before actually getting into the details of what government has done, and I would also like to tell you one nice thing about art with respect to India. So when we were researching on this, we came to know that language was a very, very big issue back in those days, when people had to communicate from one tribe to another tribe. It was not only in India, but majorly in Asian countries. So people started depicting, I mean, showing their emotions in the form of depictions. Like they used to carve expressions on the trees or on the stones, and those are kind of imprinted even now. Some people used to communicate using dance. If they have to speak something, they used to have some rhythm played, and they used to literally dance. This is quite famous in African, continents. There was another form of communication where people used to, just have facial expressions, and those facial expressions today are forms of or present within the dance arts like Kathakali or Bharatnatyam. And so the point over here is, when they say that dance is not a medium of entertainment, it's a source of expression. We don't dance to entertain, we dance to express. It's quite a powerful statement. So communication can happen in any form, and art could be one language of it. So this is something that we really found quite intriguing. And the people who are there in drama, especially the drama artists, which used to be quite common and famous in India, uh, like across various states, it was not just about a medium of time pass or entertainment. It was also to talk about some social issues and a solution towards that. That got recognized, and over the period of time, puppetry came into picture, and we call that as Kathputli, if I'm not wrong, right? Kathputli. And that was quite famous in Bihar, Orissa, Uttar Pradesh, and part of. So here we are going to talk about all these art forms and how can we, integrate the chapters of probably light, or probably integration, probably trigonometry, all these things within these art forms. It's said that when we integrate art within our curriculum on a regular basis, the students, of course, revise the art forms to a large extent, but they also have a tendency to remember and understand those concepts for a longer period of time, considering that it's there in our roots, and at the same time, it's a source and a medium of experiential learning. So let's quickly continue on this and talk about it from national education policy point of perspectives. And for that, I would like to share my screen. We'll also get into some resources and tools with which we'll understand how to integrate art using technology as well. So for that, you can see the screen. We are there at 81st. This is the 81st Super Sunday workshop. And I think almost we saw consistent around 812 participants have attended more than 50 Super Sunday workshops regularly. So 812 participants attending more than 50 workshop is an amazing number. More than 1,400 people, more than 1,000, I don't have the exact number yet, more than 1,400 people have attended more than 30 Super Sunday workshop regularly. Yeah. So if I really have to talk about more than 10 Super Sunday workshop, that's a maximum. Around 2,100 people have been regularly attending the Super Sunday workshops, more than 30 Super Sunday workshop. So all the people out there, all the teachers out there, I'm talking about live number. I'm not talking about the YouTube video watched a little later. Maybe the number could be more. So most of you are doing that. So thank you so much for doing that, teachers. And if you are able to maintain a regularity with one such learning element, probably Super Sunday Workshop is one of them, or it could be anything else as well. That consistency will take you to the heights that you did not even imagine down the line in 5 years. You will yourself, when you look back at yourself, you're like, wow, now that's a massive upgrade. I didn't expect that I'll be so advanced. And the kind of confidence that you gain with such kind of regular learning experiences, oh, it's amazing. There was one wise teacher who said something really nice. The confidence of a particular human being can increase only when you start thinking for yourself on a daily basis. For example, if a teacher is actually waking up in the morning or going back home after the school and dedicating half an hour or 1 hour maximum on a daily basis, on a regular basis, on a regular frequency, could be weekly ones or monthly ones, on improving some skill sets or knowledge of yourself. That is anytime way better than regularly working on the same routine work that you do. For example, I'm going to teach social science today, and this is my lesson plan, and I'm going to do this lesson in so and so fashion. That's what you've been doing all the time. But today, let me learn, some concepts of mathematics. I'm a social teacher, but I really like, the drainage system of Indus Valley civilization, and they've got a lot of mathematics involved over there. Let me try to understand what do they actually mean by triangular structures. But this is something completely new and abstract for a social science teacher or social studies teacher. Now, this dedication of a teacher in that area will boost more confidence than preparing for the next class on social science itself. it's quite an interesting thing. So in that way, in case if anybody are into that, very regularly into something, learning completely new, then I think you're really confident about yourself. And art integrated learning is actually, to be not frank, it's not that new a topic. But in Super Sunday workshops, we make sure that we cater to the education system, and the topics dealt are kind of common to all the subjects. So let's see how uncomfortable you get to learn something new, and then you get comfortable and more confident about it. So arts can be divided into three parts: visual arts, performing arts, and literary arts. There are multiple formats, but right now, these three are mentioned in the National Education Policy. So when we talk about visual arts, it's all about something that you can perceive right in front of you. Like you can, of course, everything else as well. Sorry. So basically, like architecture, drawing, filmmaking is also a form of visual arts. But here, when we talk about performing arts, here we are talking about the people who are involved in that. For example, dance. I dance and say something to you. That's coming under performing arts. Music, theater, all these comes under performing arts. Literary arts is all about literature. It's about writing poems, one or two lines of a story, and the drama, the prose, the literature, all these come under literary arts. Our country is rich with this literary arts in various monuments. In fact, if you go to some temples, in the form of visual arts, they have got all these depictions of stories. They don't write it, but they just have the drawings or the paintings over there. In fact, the temples that are a little older, like around 50, 60 years old temples, 500, 600 years old temples, I'm sorry, they have the carvings or inscriptions of those stories actually. So Tamil Nadu is quite, almost all the states, but I was exposed a lot to Tamil Nadu temples, and I was able to see the stories through those inscriptions when my parents used to narrate it. So yeah, so India is already rich with that. So somewhere in the education system, we had to tap on it, and national education policy, not only national education policy, to be frank, when we researched, it was found that National Curriculum Framework 2005, that time itself, art integrated learning was emphasized to a large extent. Unfortunately, at the time, the technological advancements were not so high. The monitoring mechanisms were not so high. So because of which the exposure towards that area was not that high. But now considering 2024, it's like nearly what, 20 years right now. We are ready with all the necessary tools and regulations with which this is quite possible. So CBSE released a circular last year. See, art integrated learning originated through NCF 2005, which looks something like this, where they made it mandatory. So say recommendations of NEP 2020, para 4.7 of National Education Policy 2020 recommends that art integration is a cross-curricular pedagogical approach that utilizes various aspects and forms of art and culture as the basis for learning of concepts across subjects. As simple as that. And here in this case, you can see that art integrated projects from class 1 to 10 with pairing of states, union territories, and that's important. So here, when I come down, they give a lot of recommendations and how is it supposed to be done. And they have a separate NCERT website as well, where they have given handbooks on. Let me show that to you as well. I think, so I'll share this link in few minutes, teachers. So in NCERT, they even gave Art Integrated Learning Handbook for grade 6 to 8, Art Integrated Learning Handbook for class 1 to 5. We'll open it and we'll come back here again. So this was with respect to the circular, and it also gave a detailed understanding on which are the states that are supposed to be paired. Let's go down a little bit. I would like to, here it is. So for 23-24 academic year, I think 24-25 academic year, it was not updated if I'm not wrong. Let me come down. Okay, no, not here. So for that, so West Bengal with Tamil Nadu, Jammu and Kashmir with Gujarat, Himachal Pradesh with Daman and Diu and Dadra and Nagar Haveli. Yes, you're right. Rajasthan, Nagaland. So in this way, all these states were paired. And I think many people actually did this project, right? It's the same. You're right. You're right. You're right. Oh, yes, it comes under the category of Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. So that is another initiative by Ministry of Education, actually Government of India, to talk about unity in diversity. Let's quickly go with the further part of how to actually integrate. There are some good activities that are present in NCERT. There are some good activities as suggested and recommended by NCERT, which we are going to play over here. Watch this video to get a simple idea on how art could be integrated. Then we'll go with more number of examples. For this, I would like to share the sound. and you will be able to play this. She's Miss Pavan Sudhi.
है पानी, और पानी को के साथ बच्चों को जोड़ने के लिए हमने वहाँ पे एक एक्टिविटी की जिसका कि एंड रिज़ल्ट था कि सबको ये लगने लगा कि हम एक बरसात के मौसम में बैठे हैं। तो आप देखेंगे कि ये एक्टिविटी एक कक्ष में कैसे की जाती है।
Frequency can be increased. Those who can really use their hands well. 3. 4. 2.
अब ये जो आइस ब्रेकर हमने किया, इस आइस ब्रेकर को आगे गतिविधियों के साथ कैसे जोड़ा जाए, इसके लिए मैं चाहूँगी डॉक्टर शर्वरी बात करें।
हमने देखा कि उंगलियों से किस तरह पहले एक उंगली की आवाज़, फिर 2 उंगली की आवाज़, इस तरह से 5 उंगलियों की आवाज़, उसके बाद फिर से वापस आई एक उंगली की आवाज़। तो ये एक एहसास है बच्चों के लिए कि वो किस तरह से बारिश आती है और जाती है, और उस बारिश का आनंद हम कैसे ले सकते हैं। हम और भी क्लिपिंग आपको दिखाएंगे जिसमें भी देखेंगे कि बारिश से लोग कैसे बच रहे हैं, कि नीचे पानी है और वहाँ गड्ढा है और किस तरह से कूद के वो जा रहे हैं। ये सब गतिविधियाँ जब हम क्लास में करते हैं तो बच्चा धीरे धीरे एक उसको समझ में आता है कि बारिश कैसी होती है, बारिश में किस किस तरह का वातावरण होता है, और या तो बारिश का आनंद लेते हैं, या तो बारिश से बचते हैं, या तो बारिश में खूब मज़े करते हैं। हम इस तरह की गतिविधि से हमने एक बच्चे का जो फोकस है वो बारिश पे हम ले आए, और उसके बाद बच्चे को हम क्या क्या समझा सकते हैं। मैं आपको बताऊंगी कि हमारे एनसीईआरटी की हिंदी पाठ्य पुस्तक जो क्षितिज भाग 1 में क्लास 9th के लिए एक कविता है, मेघ आए। मेघ आए बड़े बन ठन के संवर के। इसमें क्या है, मेघ कैसे आते हैं और किस तरह से हर तरफ छा जाते हैं, और मेघ के जो कण हैं वो किस तरह से चिड़िया, घास, पेड़ पौधे, मनुष्य को एकदम उत्साहित कर देते हैं। तो हमने पहले क्या किया था कि आइस ब्रेकर से हमने बच्चे का जो फोकस है वो तैयार कर लिया। उसके बाद हम जब ये चैप्टर अगर उनके साथ पढ़ाएंगे तो उनको भी मज़ा आएगा, क्योंकि उन्होंने एक सामने इमेज को बना लिया है, विजुअलाइज कर लिया।
Oh, that's just a small snippet of a big video, actually. I'll share this as well, don't worry. So, art integrated learning, even 6 months back, there was a proper 1 hour, 15 minutes video on how to integrate art in our day-to-day curriculum, was explained by CBSE and NCERT. So, actually, these sessions by NCERT and CBSE play an important role in reminding you. I would not say that the teachers do not know this. It's just like a reminder that yes, this could have been done. Like we get carried away with our regularity so much that sometimes we tend to miss on something that we already know. So I would request you to actually to make the sound of rain by finger. Yeah, you're right. And then tapping and things like that. Yeah. In your school, okay, mass PT is again a very good method of doing it. I saw one of the teachers actually literally dancing in the class, Bharatnatyam dance. She was actually dancing and she was explaining fractions to the students, where she was actually talking about, so she was actually clapping and then moving left and right. And then she was asking the students on how many claps are there and how many movements did I actually make. This was also explained very nicely by Dr. Indira ma'am from one of the sessions on Centa. I saw that as well and it was quite interesting. So let's quickly move on with further aspects. Volume is low. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. Give me a minute, teachers. Let's go forward. And then I think you should be able to hear right now. Today I'm facing a little difficulty on the audio. Okay. And next slide.
पानी और
Great. So National Curriculum Framework 2022, which was launched for foundational stage, very clearly mentioned that children express themselves, imagine and create without any inhibition through the arts. So they're comfortable talking about something. You would have seen that some students do not really express pretty well with a certain language. For example, a student who is there from a Marathi background and he's very good with Marathi, but not really that great with English. And a teacher is asking, what's actually troubling you? The child would prefer to keep quiet rather than expressing, that in Marathi, because he knows that he's not welcomed over there. So that's the reason that language policy is quite effective. It's important for the regional languages to be used in the class as a medium to communicate what's present in the English medium textbooks. I hope you got the point. So children express themselves, imagine and create without any inhibition through the arts. So arts has to be a regular practice. The open-endedness and playful qualities of the arts encourage self-expression, intuition, reasoning, imagination, and communication. Children need to be supported with ideas and opportunities to draw, paint, print, create collages, construct structures with blocks. Children also love moving, dancing, exploring, and improvising with their bodies and playing musical instruments as well. So this is actually present in the foundational stage, but I really strongly believe that this is kind of applicable even for an adult. Right after I joined the music classes very late in my life, probably in 10th or 11th standard, I found myself to be a better personality in expressing things. Not that I carry my keyboard everywhere, but it just gives a sense of confidence that, yeah, I can express this in the form of this. Why not that? So having arts integrated in our day-to-day life, apart from our academics, is actually an important attribute to develop your self-confidence as well. That's what National Curriculum Framework 2022 mentioned about. Well, as somebody mentioned, Ek Bharat Shrestha Bharat program was launched in order to enhance interaction and promote mutual understanding between people of different states. Somewhere this has to be done right now very severely in all the states, as there is literally cold wars or literally wars happening among the states these days. Somehow it got increased to a large extent over the period of time. Maybe the pandemic played an important role. Too much of an information, too much of misinformation, and too much of exposure to technology would have led to some hatred. Well, here in this case, the states carry out activities to promote a sustained and structured cultural connect in the areas of language learning, culture, traditions and music, tourism and cuisine, sports and sharing of best practices, etc. So this is the main vision and theme of Ek Bharat Shrestha Bharat. The website looks like this. So ekbharat.gov.in, and in fact, the Kala Utsav that we're going to talk about down the line is again integrated with this. So the respective states can actually promote their cultural heritage under a huge exhibition. In fact, it's a competition itself, as well, called as Kala Utsav. We'll talk about that as well, which comes under one of the initiatives of Ek Bharat Shrestha Bharat. Luckily, there is another initiative called as Art Integrated Learning in Education, which is kind of mapped or bridged towards these two initiatives by Government of India. Let's come back to this particular place. I would like to show you. This is the website where you can get the complete details of Kala Utsav. See? So here you can register and you can participate in the competition. So it's a flagship program of the Department of School Education and Literacy, Ministry of Education, and launched in 2015. Kala Utsav aims to foster and showcase the artistic talent of the student of secondary stage. This annual event provides a platform for students to explore and celebrate arts and cultural diversity at various levels: school, district, state, and national. So it's ultimately, for a student to learn a different art form or present their own art form. For that, I would request you to actually go to Kala Utsav 2024, and I would request you to check on the guidelines. The moment you click on guidelines, you will have this guidelines present both in Hindi and English, and I think it's around 27 to 28 pages, total 50, including Hindi and English. So let's go to, here we are. So English starts from page number 22, and you can see that what are the different art forms, what is the eligibility, national level Kala Utsav, escorts, that means the teachers, how many of them are supposed to go if it is happening in a different location, what are the awards, and then each art, what are the rules and regulations for you to participate. All these guidelines are given. And this time the theme was on Viksit. Here it is. So you can see that the theme of this Kala Utsav into 2024, there'll be few changes. It's Viksit Bharat, a vision for Bharat in the year 2047. Well, Viksit Bharat launched the last month actually. And, officially it was announced by Shri Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, where they were speaking about in 2047, my India should look something like this. So just like we have sustainable development goals towards which we work, all the time. Here it is about Viksit Bharat. And they came up with one very important aspect, Indian ethos. And in Indian ethos, we need to make sure that whatever cultural richness that we have, we're supposed to promote it in a bigger platform. So puppetry is going to be one show where you have to do it. Dance form is going to be one competition. And all these things play an important role. And you can get through this particular document, teachers. It will play an important role. So this particular document also talks about the region and the respective art form over there. So let me go back to the presentation. I'm deliberately not getting into all the details because I want to focus on how do we actually integrate some of the subjects with various art forms. However, these are important considering the Government of India initiatives. Yeah. So the moment I click on this particular link, it will actually open the NCERT website where you'll get to see the art integrated learning handbooks. This I can share with you right away if anyone is looking. Yeah, you can take part in Kala Utsav. Yeah, you have to, in fact. Every school can actually, get into it and they can participate. Right now, let me show you the, let's create. So now when we talk about the art integration teachers, there are multiple platforms. I've just shared using the link teachers. If anybody wants to have the link of the complete presentation, do message me on my number. You have my number actually in the reflection form. Now, when we talk about art integration methodologies in the classroom, while we know that we can dance and we can make, use crafts and communicate information to the students, sometimes it becomes quite a difficult challenge. You might want to explain a simple concept of acute angle and obtuse angle, and you might have to literally dance in front of the students. For that, some teachers literally prepare. They join Bharatanatyam classes. I've seen some teachers taking a lot of efforts in explaining. Some teachers literally dress up. Especially in Kathakali, you have the complete attire worn by the teacher, and they come to the class and literally perform. These are very good methodologies with which students have a different pedagogy on that particular day and remember that for a longer duration of time. In technology, I really like Google Earth to a large extent. So when I click on Vijayanagar Kingdom, this website gets actually opened up where it's just getting loaded, where there are pre-presentations made for different art forms. For example, when I talk about art integration, now there are multiple chapters. Art integration in mathematics, art integration in social studies, art integration in languages, everything is there. And you can choose one of them. So right now I have chosen Vijayanagara Kingdom. It's present in, I think, grade 8, if I'm not wrong, in social science or social studies. Please correct me if I'm wrong, teachers. So this is the Vijayanagara Kingdom. You can see the red outline. It is pre-designed. It's not something that you have to create, and you can still create. That's a different story, but it's pre-designed. So here in this case, when I get into Vijayanagara, rulers of Vijayanagara Kingdom, so you can just click on this particular button and change the slides one by one. And even these are called as slides. So this is Sangama Dynasty, 1336 to 1485. So the moment you click on this arrow, it will actually take you to that particular location. So let me just show you. Give me a moment. It's a little slow. So you can see that. Okay. Okay. Wait a minute. Teacher, are you able to hear me now? I'm so sorry. Wait a minute. I'm not sure if I'm online. Am I frozen? Are you able to, are you able to hear me now? I'm so sorry. Today, the place where I'm there, it has got a lot of, connectivity issues. I'm so sorry. Yeah, thank you so much. And that is the reason the internet is also quite slow. Let me go back to presentation. I would like to stop sharing the screen and reshare it. Give me a minute, please. Yeah, that's okay. You'll be able to see me in a few seconds. I hope so you're able to see me. How much will we talk? Somewhere I'm not prepared. I'm so sorry. Here we go. Let me click on Vijayanagar Kingdom one more time and show you properly. So basically, Google Earth has got all these projects wherein you can take the students on a virtual field trip. The students can actually look at the kingdoms, the pillars, the inscriptions, the carvings, and all these things. Let me show you right now. Okay. And Google Earth really requires good connectivity. Otherwise, it doesn't really work properly. So here, that's the reason it's comparatively slow. So it's actually, did I click on the right one? Yes. It's loading. It's loading. And the moment you get into it, come on. So there is a separate topic on politics and economy, arts and culture, architecture, data. All these things can be accessed via Google Arts and Culture as well. So you could do Google Arts and Culture where you can actually take the students on a virtual field trip by having that pegman. So you can see this pegman. You can simply take him and drop him at a certain location. And then there will be some blue lines that has to be mandatory. So here, if I talk about Mysore, and you can see it's not still loaded. I'm sorry for that. But if it's loaded, you can see that you can actually get into that particular region. Okay, I think it is getting loaded. I'm not sure if you're there in the Vijayanagara kingdom. No, yeah, it's there. But not really the right place. I wanted to take you to the fort, but maybe we are there on the road to fort. I don't even know if the right road it is, but I can't see the fort. But yeah, I would request you to please try this. You can type Vijayanagara Kingdom on Google Earth. You'll just get the right link and you can open it up. And when we share the complete presentation with you, you can click on the link that I have already embedded. Apart from that, let me go to the next one. For mathematics, I would like to show you quick examples of how art could be integrated. So for example, in mathematics, art form is Bharatnatyam. Some teachers, I told you, right? I was inspired with one of them. So symmetry and angles, explore symmetrical poses and angles and movements. You can see that this one drawing was actually the representation of an acute angle. It could be considered obtuse as well, depending on the way you want. But this is one way of doing it. In science, we have something called as Worley painting. Food chains and ecosystems. You can see Worley painting over here. This is actually quite common in the northern part of the country where the huts actually, even the temples, they are having these inscriptions. So here there is a continuity in the drawing, which is very close to mandala art as well to a quite large extent, but Worley painting is quite common in India. And here you can use this to depict relationships between animals and plants using Worley figures, food chains and ecosystems. That's why we put this over here. You can see the food chain and the painting over here. For history, say for example, if you're using Kathakali, which is quite a famous form of art to narrate stories, right? Patterns could also be good, and it's an app, Google Earth app. You're right. Google Arts and Culture is also good form. Yeah, you're right. So here in this case, you can see Kathakali could be used to communicate stories and ancient Indian epics. For example, role play scenes from Mahabharata or Ramayana. You can see that this is already present in one of the temples out there. Yeah. Let's go to the next one. In English, this was quite interesting. Not only in English, in any language for that matter. Puppet theater or Kathputli, dialogue writing and storytelling. I remember a friend of mine who was quite fascinated with this form of art, and now he ventured into cinema direction, movie making and all. So somewhere during the school days itself, a student will be able to identify what they're really interested in if such kind of methods are used to talk. So sometimes we think that this particular boy is going to be a engineer, that particular girl is going to be a doctor or vice versa. And it's confined to the exposure that we have. But in reality, students can get into any areas provided such kind of platforms are provided to them. So here in this case, puppetry, or I would say Kathputli, paved way towards my friend to become the director, something like that. So I really like this. Dialogue writing and storytelling. You have to literally do everything. It's a very big form of art. It's a teamwork. One person has to control, the other person has to write the story, the other person has to, monitor who has to enter. It's an amazing form of art. Orissa mein kafi famous hai, right? Well, this is another Madhubani painting, which is about, animals. So basically, Madhubani painting are, they actually use natural colors made from plants and animals. That's the richness about Madhubani. In fact, animals in the sense the cow dung I'm talking about, such as turmeric, rice powder, wood apple tree leaves, indigo, kusum flowers, and red sandalwood. Black is made from mixing soot with cow dung. Nice, right? And that's how Madhubani painting is quite famous. Climatic regions and agricultural patterns could be actually spoken using Madhubani painting. Now, whatever we have written over here is just a representation, teachers. It can change depending on any subjects. Geometry concepts ke liye, I really liked Bharatnatyam. And I think I would go with mandala art as well, because their circle is never complete. It's mostly, semicircles, and the pens are generally not taken up in mandala painting. There's a lot of pattern involved. Okay, don't worry, my video will come. There must be little difficulty. Are you able to hear me? I hope so. Great. Computer science, I really like one of the teachers talking about algorithm using Rangoli. So basically that Rangoli had certain steps. First, the dots are kept and the dots are connected one after the other. And they're connected in a symmetrical manner in which, not even a single dot is left out. That itself is a challenge. And this particular teacher was actually drawing Rangoli on the blackboard using the chalk. And she was explaining the concept of stepwise thinking. That's innovative. That's quite interesting. So this is with respect to environmental science, where we talk about bamboo crafts. Now, bamboo crafts is again quite a famous form of art in India. Still, you can see that, I do not know, somehow these are not so expensive, but very much sustainable in nature. You'll generally find these things in those melas and all. When a fair is arranged in a particular, region, when you go there, you will have people coming out and they make indigenous toys out of this as well. So sustainable living and resource use, when you talk about renewable and non-renewable sources of energy, and yeah, so that's with respect to bamboo crafts. This is again physical education. This is Kalari Payattu. It's basically a martial art, quite famous in Kerala. And then you've got a lot of martial arts in India actually, but somehow now people are researching them and they're coming back again. Adimurai is used in Tamil Nadu, I remember. And this is all about body movements and balance and discipline. It's really amazing. So learn martial arts stances and their relation to agility. This could be one of the physical education activity. Now, when you talk about biology with art, I think there is one form of art, I think I'm forgetting, maybe during Diwali or Dashera, there's a lot of clay used to make, pots and different figures. I'm not sure what form of art we are talking about. It's a festival where clay is heavily used. So probably that festival could be used to teach on, say, clay model of a heart or brain, something like that. I'm not sure, but this is something that I can. Bommala Kolu. Okay. Malkam we are talking about. Oh, Malkam is a form of Kalaripattu. That's correct. Pongal mein, is it used? Pottery is the place where clay is used, but there's one more festival where clay is used immensely. I completely forgot. I'm so sorry. But yeah, this is with respect to, the clay with biology. Now, some of the homework activities for this vacation that the teachers can actually give is for geography. I'm just trying to, bridge whatever we saw as an example with that. You don't have to stick to this at all. You can come up with your own ideas, but this will give you a good perspective. One of the assignments could be design a collage or a mural using natural elements like leaves, twigs, stones to show different types of landforms like mountains, plains, and rivers. So the object is to reinforce geographical concepts with natural art. Did you understand? Natural art. Computer science, create a step-by-step visual algorithm using a sequence of Rangoli patterns. The one that the teacher made, I just wrote that directly, showing how to draw them step-by-step like an algorithm. So understanding algorithmic thinking and sequencing. Environmental studies ke liye build a miniature model of an eco-friendly village using bamboo or other natural materials, incorporating features like rainwater harvesting, solar energy, and green spaces. Many schools are coming up with ideas for science exhibitions right now. And one of the science exhibition that one of the exhibits in a science exhibition was quite famous about, there's a bamboo which is actually kind of vertically cut, and it actually has a hollow space in between, right? So the water drips from the terrace onto the bamboo and it travels in a certain path and then it falls inside a place where it can be collected. So the terrace water, rather than using a PVC pipe, Or rather than using, plastics, how about having a science exhibition where you can use the bamboo, which is easily available as well, and the students can make and talk about the sustainability out there. That's an interesting activity according to me. Then physical education, practice and record a dance sequence inspired by Garba or Dandiya. That's interesting. Right now, focusing on the movements, rhythms, and coordination. So basically, improve physical coordination and rhythmic understanding. In fact, I remember one of the teachers giving an assignment of students dancing and telling a story. So that was done in one of the schools. So that's quite an interesting activity. Let's go with mathematics. In maths, you can give an assignment of Rangoli design using geometric shapes. Like you need to use only these 3 geometric shapes and come up with a Rangoli pattern, something like that. Triangles, squares, and circles. Measure the angles and calculate the area and perimeter of each shape used. Oh, wow, that's interesting. Reinforce concepts of geometry, symmetry, and measurement. Another activity could be on science. Again, the Worley style poster where we spoke about the food chain. Here we can talk about life cycle of a plant or animal. Yeah, using traditional Worley figures and symbols. Understand biological cycles and integrate creative representations of scientific processes. Yeah, history. Right after this history, I'm using the same Madhubani art, but this time narrative of a historical event from India, like the reign of Ashoka or the life of Shivaji, something like that. Explore historical events through traditional art forms. Then in English, puppet play is my favorite. You need to write the complete scripts and then the flow. So basically that should be like a, some project kind of a thing around, I would say at least 50 A4 sheets will easily get filled up for making one puppet show with around some 10-15 scenes maximum. Yeah. So create puppets Kathputli using old clothes and craft materials. Enhance creative writing and oral storytelling skills. So this is with respect to some homework activities for art integration. Now, when we talk about art integration teachers, it's not, I would say, whatever is written over here is just up to the maximum creativity of the research team out there. But there are a lot of chances that Worley style poster could be used for English. History can use Rangoli design. It could be anything. It's just some random list of activities that we have come up with to show you some examples. And depending on your interest and levels, you can change it. But definitely it's important for all the teachers out there or the community out there, when you get a small vacation, like 10 days, 15 days, or a week for that matter, having students get involved in hands-on activities, especially with art integration kind of activities, it becomes very easy for the students to, be with the roots of the country and also, get really involved rather than spending time on TV or any technology for that kind of games and all. This will actually help the students get distracted from technology. That's quite a statement out there. Yeah. So that actually brings us to the end of art integration teachers. I would request you to go through Kala Utsav. I would request you to go through the Ek Bharat Shreshth Bharat Abhiyan. And there's going to be another announcement on Viksit Bharat and new set of pairing of states for the next academic year. We'll talk about that again. As we had done effective homework practices last time, we thought art integration could be a good topic to give homework to the students. And right after you come back, then it's exam preparation. Then we'll have some Super Sunday topics on assessments and asking the right questions. We'll try to have each and every, question paper pattern being addressed in all these Super Sunday workshops. So that's it from my side, teachers. Today, I don't really want to, extend it for a longer period of time today. Considering the internet connectivity, I'm really sorry for all the discomfort. The reflection form is coming on the chat. You can fill it before 12 midnight today. And ensure to do that. If you score more than 7, you will get your certificates. Yeah. Thank you so much, teachers. Great interacting with one and all. I would like to meet you with another Super Sunday topic in the next Super Sunday workshop. Have a Super Sunday. Bye, everyone. That's great. Thank you. Homework not allowed in army schools. That's right. Art integration can be a project, right? You can give it optional. Do you really want to do it? You can do it. Something like that. But art integration has to be there. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. You could have put that to everyone. Today we are completing a little early. Only Jahdevi Pitara was a very good point. Absolutely. Jahdevi Pitara, it's more like toy-based pedagogy, where you've got toys, indigenous toys, with which you can actually, conduct a class. Playway method. It's common in the primary classes, pre-KG, things like that. That's a good word, ma'am. Thank you so much for that. Sure, Shweta ma'am. You can put your message on my number. It's there on the reflection form. We could quickly have a conversation a little later, right after the session, for sure. Correct. So today's topic that we dealt with, I wouldn't really consider it to be very appropriate for 11th and 12th. I think you're right, ma'am, for that matter. But I think it also depends on the creativity of a teacher. Like for 11th and 12th, if the focus is on improving their uh, elective subjects or a specific subject for that matter, you can give assignments still by integrating art. It's just a methodology. You think about it. But when I was speaking today, it was more from the perspective of grade 1 to 10. You're right. Actually, with respect to toy-based pedagogy, Jadoo Pitara, they do not recommend plastics at all. These are all indigenous toys. That means toys that are made in India's long, long time ago using bamboos, leaves, mostly the wooden structures. There is a separate session on toy-based pedagogy, which we have seen in the past. I would request you to go through that. That will give you a very good idea. But no plastics, for sure. You made Jadoo Pitara? That's nice. Okay. Cartoon poster about IT applications. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. No, Kala Setu is not there right now. It's Kala Utsav. So basically, Kala Setu was the first name that was given. That's a good question, Sita Lakshmi ma'am. It was there existing, but now it has become more like a Kala Utsav, more of a celebration of Kala. Right. It's just a changed name, ma'am. Otherwise, everything remains the same. Great. Thank you, Dilip Kumar sir. Please mail to swati@superteacher.in to get the certificates in time. Make, okay, a collage or model using scrap to show, okay, the stem or root. Okay, that's nice. It should be handmade, yes. Okay. A model making or dress designing for teaching measurement. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that from fiber to fabric. I think there's a chapter, right? So there, actually, we can use that to that model making or dress designing for teaching measurements. That's a good suggestion. Wow. Varli painting could be used for chemical bonds. Yeah, the covalent and ionic bonds. I can actually talk about it. Oh, wow. That's a good way of putting it, Vishnu Priya ma'am. Thank you so much. Okay. Done. So now I would like to quickly share those links. For example, the NCERT link, and let me share. First of all, the Kala Utsav website. You can check that on the Zoom chat. Okay, there itself you will get all the resource materials. No, Lakshmi ma'am, see, art integration is not a force. It's not a mandate. One art integrated activity in a year is mandatory. That's it. That doesn't mean that for every chapter research it. No, not required. Art integration can be time consuming. Keeping in mind the number of periods that we have for completing your chapters, based on that, you take a call. Otherwise, it's not compulsion. Columns of Puducherry for teaching geometrical figures. That's nice. Yes, Kartika ma'am, you're absolutely right. You're right. Yes, see, so with Kala Utsav, so there was one Google form that was launched last year, though the portal was not there, but the CBSE circular had a Google form in which you can upload the art integrated projects. This time also it will be there. So I would request you to make one. More than that, I have to do this to submit for CBSE. I would think this to be a creative pedagogy. One-time opportunity for the teachers to explore a new way of teaching. Yeah. Street plays, very good. Good activity, good idea. Using musical instruments for sound chapter to over frequency and pitch. Wow, that's a good idea, Bindu ma'am. Let me share the CBSE circular which you were asking for. Sorry, it's there on the chat right now. This will be there on the YouTube chat as well. Don't worry. Comic strips is a good idea for history. Lovely, Basudev sir. Oh, I understood. I thought it's you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Okay. And I'm also sharing the NCERT reading materials, which I've already shared, but I'm sharing it once again. That's it. That's it. So I'm closing on the session, teachers. I would like to meet you in the next Super Sunday workshop with another interesting topic. Thank you so much. Have a Super Sunday. Bye, everyone. Thank you, Nisha, ma'am.